Hello, I'm Pirate Dave. It is another new comic book day. It is April 1st, 2026. Let's get right into it with a absolutely beautiful cover for Captain Marvel Dark Past. This is the variant cover by Ejikure. I think I'm saying that correctly. And just look at that wonderful foil on that Miss Marvel classic costume. And I know that this costume, especially for Carol Danvers, is a little controversial. But I mean, you can like Captain Marvel, you can like Captain Marvel's current look. I do think that it's designed well, but this is iconic. That's good. This is great. You know, that's just my opinion. Whether or not the book is good, at this point, I don't care because this is just such a wonderful illustration. Sometimes you just buy these covers and it's like buying an art print with a story inside, man. That's how I look at it sometimes. Really excited to get into this. Opening it up, and let's see who we have on. Oh, we don't we don't have credits here on the opening cover. That art is actually really solid. And I'm already digging the coloring. And I'm sure the idea here is that there's going to be a bit of a, look at that, you got that? I'm sure the idea is that there's going to be a sort of fracture of Carol's past self. And hopefully we'll see her, hopefully we'll meet her. And I imagine it'll be a story about coming to terms with um, her history as the Miss Marvel persona. They're never they're not going to bring this iconography back full time or anything like that. But I'm hoping that they don't vilify it as it's been vilified thus far. Up next, we have G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Silent Missions, Baroness. It's a long title. They have another new series of silent missions going on now, this time featuring Cobra. And in fact, if you get the 125 incentive covers, it'll spell out Cobra, just like the Joe did last year. I'm a huge Baroness fan. I was really tempted to buy all the covers, but between my recent trips and I literally just backed the Kickstarter for the IDW GI Joes, which is $300. You've got to take it a little bit easy with the variant covers here, but absolutely big fan of Baroness. Declan Shalvey, top artist. I don't know, or Joel Jones is the artist. I thought Declan Shalvey. You know what? I'm thinking of the Terminator series. I think he was the writer for the Terminator series. Yeah, I got that completely wrong. Joel Jones is the artist. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with their work, but as you can see, the aesthetic is kind of it's just a shade 90s, but there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you're illustrating Baroness right there. And we're not going to get into that too much. We're not going to give away too much, especially since it's a silent issue, right? So most of the substance is communicated via the illustrations after all. Up next, we have Babs, The Black Road South. This is sort of a polarizing, controversial series because I think the audience that it's targeting is also the audience that is going to be most offended by the humor, as was the case with the first miniseries. Garth Ennis is the writer of this. Jason Burrows is the artist. This is his A cover. This is a little bit of a spicy first page, and that's usually the case with Babs. And again, if you're not familiar with Babs, it's a fantasy parody, but at the same time, it's a fantasy pastiche because it takes itself seriously amongst the humor in several ways. It is super humor forward, though. A lot of humor, a lot of violence. Babs is an awesome, doesn't give a shit character, but she also she could be great if not for herself, right? So if you like pale, bikini-clad goblin dudes, you saw that first couple pages, maybe pick up Babs. It's on number 3 right now. That was Babs of Black Road South, number 3. I'm sorry about that. And lastly, for the floppies, it is a short week for me this week. Deadpool April Fool's Day, number 1, and I'm sure it's just a one-shot. This is actually written by Gail Simone. Isn't that crazy? That's the Mike Rugg variant cover. And it's not a anthology as some holiday books tend to be. It's one solid story written by Gail Simone. Very excited for that. Love her Secret Six, Villains United stuff. Hoping to get her Red Sonja stuff soon. I think we have a bit of a spicy page right there. And I don't know if this is a trick being played on Deadpool or not, but let's hope not. Let's hope for Wade's sake. He seals the deal there. For the bonus this week, we have more volumes of the Phantom Daily Stories. Move that up a little bit. And this is volume 2 and volume 4. Well, this is volume 2 and this is volume 4. I've been reviewing these early stories on my on my channel, and I do have War in the Jungle coming up soon. All of these Hermes Press hardcovers are accompanied by opening introductions written by various authors, various artists that are just fans, and this is the presentation that you get in each of these books. Keep in mind these were illustrated in 1937, I think, specifically for this one. 1937 to 1939. And they were newspaper dailies. So maybe it's not everybody's bag out there, but I'm certainly a huge fan of the Phantom, and the sealing reason, is that the way that I want to phrase that? The defining reason, maybe that's a better way, is because of these early stories, because I went back and read these stories after having been a fan since the Billy Zane movie in 1996, and then casually a fan of whatever I could get my hands on in the last couple of decades. I finally went back and read these stories. Look at this, I just completely messed up that dust cover. I went back and I read these stories and I loved them so much. I've read through hundreds of them thus far, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back to the beginning and I'm going to review them for people that need to experience them that way, because not everybody can get their hands on these. Not everybody can, I guess, soldier on through some old black and white illustrations from the 30s and to parse the story that way. At least that's how the way I looked at it. Hopefully it's useful to some people. If you're interested, just check out my channel. You'll see the last couple, Daily Story number 1 and then Daily Story number 2, already out. So that's the Singh Brotherhood and the Sky Band. And the Phantom versus the Sky Band is a one-shot by Matt Cave that's coming out soon. So if you're interested in how the original story went, check out that video. They are pretty long. I apologize. I do try to condense them into the most important plot points. But the thing about the Phantom and why he became so popular is because these stories are rich with plot, rich with adventure, and rich with action, even for being stories from the 30s. So there is a lot to sort of communicate through them, even though that they were 8-month or 5-month long newspaper dailies. That's it for me. Hopefully you had a great week. I'm coming off of a fantastic one between having gone to Disneyland, and I missed WonderCon because I got blisters at Disneyland, and then I got two more copies of the Phantom's Hermes Press volumes. So I'm very excited to continue reviewing these early stories for anybody that's interested out there. I'm Pirate Dave, and I'll see you next time. Bye.